Ooh. Well, howdy, hello. Welcome to the bench. If you're one of the people that might be joining me here today, thanks for the thumbs up already. I appreciate that. Let me clean off my lens a little bit, make sure we're clear. Sorry about the bouncing around and stuff there. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing? How are we? I'm hoping that I can see the chat in this. I might be able to if I push that. There we go. Oh, Steve, hey, man. What's happening? I was kind of away for a second. I fired up the stream and had to step away for a moment. Cool. Yeah, it's great to see you too, brother. It's fun to get to visit with you once in a while, talking shop. I love that. I'm not really, wasn't really prepared to go to Welcome to the Bench, but I just finished up working on this beautiful amplifier today. As you can see, it's one of the stupid loudest amps ever made. Here in a moment. I'll call him back. I'm not going to be on very long today. So here's what, Steve, you can appreciate this if you're still here. Here's what was repaired and removed from this amplifier. I'll pull these parts out of here. I bag up everything that I removed from an amplifier so that I can show it to the owner, so that there's no question as to whether or not I did what I said I did. Here is the tube socket that was removed from this amplifier. Yeah, one of the posts right, oop, kind of tough with this camera. One of those posts, ooh, yeah, dude. Uh, so that post got burned off. You can't, all of the carbon on there basically is conductive. So if you were to leave this, as you well know, Stephen. Hey, Zach, what's up, brother? How are you doing today? Yeah. So I'm going to give you a flyby on this and kind of show you what I've done. So there's the tube socket that I removed and replaced. And it was replaced with a what we believe to be a military grade. This is a 6L6, is an 8-pin tube socket that held a 6L6. The big, powerful 6L6s that our Fenders are very notoriously famous for. So we pulled the socket out of there, and my journeyman here at the shop, who has worked on and built amps, which we're working on building more as we speak. So Stephen, I know you can appreciate that, although we are competitors in a way, I suppose. But who cares, man? We're keeping the tube amp dream alive. So I'm really lucky to have the journeyman that I work with. He went home, and the hole in this amp is a very specific size hole. This is a 2009 blackface Fender Twin Reverb reissue. Oh, he just finished dinner. Well, hopefully everything was tasting good. And this, obviously it's loaded with 4 6L6s, so it's running at about 80 watts, and there's 0 distortion. And the speaker cabinet is a 115, which is really interesting. So they call it a twin reverb, but it has a single 15. Fender does some weird stuff like that. So we're going to take a flyby on this amp, and I'll show you the work that I did. A couple of details before we get started doing the flyby. When the amp arrived here, it worked. Had sound out of it, but it just sounded flubby, and it just wasn't right. And I have a lot of experience playing Fender Twins, as in college and in high school. I was playing a lot of Silverface Fender Twin Reverbs. I know what those things sound like when they're in perfect working order, and this thing wasn't right. Plus, it's got a 15 in it. I'm not the world's biggest fan of playing a guitar through a 15-inch speaker. I don't think that sounds good, but that's my thought. The guy that owns this amp absolutely loves it, and he said it's never really had a good tone, or that the tone in a short amount of time after buying the amp kind of took a downhill turn on him, which it did have a little bit of grit, which Fender Twins do not have. They're supposed to be clean as a whistle. They're the cleanest amp, one of the cleanest sounding amps ever made outside of solid state stuff. 0 distortion, 0 overdrive. So when it came in, the pilot light did not work, and the owner informed me that the pilot light had never worked from the day he got it. So I don't know why he didn't take it back to the shop and get that remedied, but he didn't. And so the pilot light was actually run off of this, the 6.3 pin, which I believe is pin 5. So it's a 6.3 volts pilot light. So that was all going on. And we'll give you a run over this thing. Take a look. Sorry if you're getting dizzy. Here we go. Yeah, they went to circuit boards, which I despise. Imagine working on the volume controls on this. You know what it means, right? You got to take them all out of there. So the design of this is not like an old one where they're hand wired and you can work it on a volume pot if you want. But over here is where the work happened. And the amp is on right now. It's hot. I've replaced these wires. All of the red wiring down here is my work outside of the stuff on the transformer. I didn't do anything. The transformer was in perfectly good working order. And right there in the center of the shot is the tube socket that we replaced. You know, so I used some vintage cloth wire, replaced a couple pieces of wire down in here. I'm trying to get you as close as I can without getting shocked and keeping stuff in focus. So that whole tube socket was replaced, and basically all of the wiring that was coming in contact with that had been burned off or scorched or carbon coated was all replaced. And at this point in time, the amp sounds fantastic. So, hey Tremor, what's up, brother? Just blackface. Okay, let's see. How can I? Oh, okay. Stupid broken solder joints on the PCB. Classic. Yeah. And I went over the PCBs with a very fine tooth comb, magnifying glass, and made sure that all the solder joints on it looked great. The other problem that this amp had was that the reverb pedal, the switch, let's see. Here's the classic reverb switch, reverb and vibrato. Vibrato, it's actually tremolo on this amp. Fender never did get that right. It's tremolo. Tremolo's volume, vibrato is pitch. This is not pitch bending, it's volume. Tremor, it's so good to see you. So the pedal itself, the opposite end of this, there was a bad solder joint on it. Somebody had unplugged it and probably pulled it on the cable instead of the actual jack. When you're unplugging cables, grab the jack. Don't grab the cable. That's just bad etiquette when it comes to it. You'll break cables. Fix the foot pedal, fix the tube socket, and we re-tubed the entire amplifier. All of the original tubes were cooked. Given the pilot light didn't work, here's my guess, that the owner probably turned the amp on at some point and didn't realize it was still on, walked away from it, and the amp sat there for potentially months with the power going to it. The original tubes, the paint on them was literally basically burned off of the tubes. It was almost not. Let's see, Tremor. Let's see. Come on. Switch out a pickup and a 335 clone, and now the middle position sounds thin. Yes, you probably. Tremor, it's possible that you have flopped the pickup. They should be opposing each other. Let me see. I don't know if I might have a guitar here. Let me see if I can flop this camera around. I can't. This guitar, I don't want to give my customers information out. So sorry about this terrible. I'll talk to my cameraman. But here is a guitar with humbuckers in it. I'm assuming yours has humbuckers, and you'll notice that they are in opposite directions. You'll notice the neck position, the screws are right near the neck, and on the bridge position, the screws are near the bridge. They're opposite of each other, and that's how humbuckers should be installed in guitars, unless you want. If you have one, if the screws are both facing the same direction, the pickups are probably out of phase, and when you run them together, yeah, you'll have no low end, or the low end will be gone. So hopefully that helps. Usually it's a pretty easy fix. You just loosen the strings up and flop it around. That should solve everything. And I'd be curious, man. Let me know if that is truly what's going on with it. Let's see. So we got the good old pilot light on this bad boy is now shining like it's supposed to. And so for the first time in the life of this amplifier, or at least for the owner, it's the first time that has worked. What's up, Richard? Hello, buddy. I couldn't be at your show on Wednesday. Everybody go over, and if you don't, go over and hang out with Richard on Wednesdays. And then right before Richard goes on, Preston Smith is on. So go to the Foul Crows channel on Wednesday nights around, West Coast of the United States, around 7-ish, 7:30 sometimes he gets going. It depends on, he and Preston kind of tag team each other's shows, so they kind of hand off to the other guy, and it's really cool. So the gentleman that owns this Blackface Twin Reverb also owns this beautiful guitar that has been here getting some repair work done. I'll show this to you real quick. I'll give you a nice look at this. And we did a finish repair on this, and as you can imagine, look at that, a G&L. And this is a you know, the ASAT Classic, again designed by Leo Fender in the Telecaster world, if you will. Really beautiful guitar. Take a look down this and we'll show you what we've repaired. Not yet, not yet, not yet. You see the repair? This thing unfortunately had a huge chunk taken out of it down here, and so what I've done is I've filled that, and it is invisible now. You get about 10 feet away from the guitar, you really can't see it. So I did my best to match the color, but as you all know, trying to match a color on especially this orange is not an easy task. You got to have a really good eye and really good dyes, and you get absolutely totally lucky if you get close. Yeah. So we did basically a full setup on this. We did a string change. We went from he was playing 11s on this guitar, and he's going for a stylistically, he's going more for funk and playing a bit more lead guitar. He was primarily a rhythm guitarist, very fluid, great guitar player. Plays in some really cool live bands here in our town of La Grande, and he's gonna go more funk. So we put a lighter gauge of string on here to give him a little bit more ability to bend notes, and so we did re-intonate the guitar, set the neck relief, did a little bit of pickup height adjustment, and in testing the twin reverb, this is the only guitar I plugged into it. It sounds fantastic. So very clean, you know, beautiful tone. And of course, with single coils, there's definitely some 60 cycle hum, which is one of the reasons why I don't enjoy playing Telecasters, but that's my statement. So there you go. And I want to thank you all for joining me today. I've got to get back to it. I'm usually off on Fridays, but I had to get some stuff done, and we're going to be shorthanded today, so I'm down here helping out with everything that we got going here. We got a lot of work to do. Oh, and one other thing. Before I hang up here, this is what I believe to be a 1948. Is it a Bell & Howell? It's a model 179. We're going to change this into a guitar amp. It actually works right now, but obviously it needs filter caps. This is a film projector amplifier. So it's got a microphone input right here, a volume and tone control, and obviously a power switch. We're going to be turning that into a guitar amp in the very near future. In fact, probably get started on. I'm hoping next week to get started on that. Yeah, this G&L, man, that thing is it's killer. So really happy about that. And a little catch up. You know, I was gone for a long time, wasn't working. The old Gibson is getting close. We're about ready to finish that one up and get it off to the owner. That one's been here for a long time, but I kind of pick away at it when I've got a few moments or ultimately time to kill. Oh, and this wrench is from a Padula bass, and the wrench broke. It's a $4,500 bass, and the wrench that they sent out with the bass, the end of it broke. That's the truss rod wrench, because Padula couldn't do an Allen key. They had to use a square. That they reinvented the wheel, and they totally fucked up. So anyway, kind of funny. So a little kind of fun. This is my ultimately my wall of shame at the moment. And yeah, we keep some really cool black diamond string wrappers here and Bella stuff. These have come out of old guitar cases, you know. And I ask clients, "Hey man, can I have that little package?" And sure, man, go ahead. So it's kind of cool. Keep some vintage stuff. And if you don't have this decal, you should get it. Hopefully you can read that. If everything is reversed, it looks reversed to me. In case of fire, rescue my guitars. You guys, I'm going to get going. I got to get back to work. Thanks for hanging with me. I'm going to see if I can end this live stream. We'll see you all sometime soon on YouTube.